talking about. We're going to BOE, and Raven will take map pick. Again, they're doing this. They want to take these map picks. So, Battlefield of Eternity is our map choice, and we're headed into it, man. Let's see what Raven has planned. I'm sure they got a strat prepared, because obviously, if you're gonna pick this map over taking first ban, you have a really specific strategy. They had a clearly specific strategy set up for Tomb of the Spider Queen. It didn't. The execution wasn't very crisp, but let's see how it does as we head into BOE now. As the players get into the lobby. Tempest is probably feeling really great right now. That comp is a scary one, you know. When you see that, you're like, okay, that we could, if we mess up a few times, we could lose the game in a second. Our entire team could disappear, but they dealt with it so well, and Sign played such a good tracer. They're probably feeling on cloud 9 right now. And I'm not talking about the team that knocked DK out of BlizzCon in 2015 Grand Finals, but anyways.
We're going in to BOE. And of course, with Raven choosing the map over first ban, first pick, Tempest will be banning first. And I would actually, if I were Tempest after game 1, I would open everything and try to get all the OP picks by opening, just not banning anything, but just banning something like maybe Chom's Rhaegar, Uther, maybe banning something else. Banning Asmodan will be insane, but it's one of his most picked heroes too. So
Abathur.
Okay. Abathur.
This is another way to go around it. A little bit different than the angles you were taking, but it's a map-specific ban. So Raven, if they want the support, like I think if Raven wants Uther Greymane, they do exactly this. They give Genji the Tempest, insta-locked, and then they just take the Greymane Uther. But because it's Raven, can't necessarily expect they would do the most normal thing. Can't expect that they would take the proper path, take the path that we all look down, and you know, everyone in Hero League wishes that if this exact draft happened in their Hero League games, the team would just lock in Uther Greymane. But that's not how things always go.
No one picks supports at the first pick. That's how Hero League goes. No, sometimes I'm wrong. I didn't say that. Sorry, but oftentimes that's the way it goes. But here we need to be serious, and Uther with Greymane is a solid pick, of course. But what do they have in mind as they brought out the map here?
Well, I think they're trying to decide how they want to hide their comp. If they have a special combo or, you know, really specific pairing for comps like we saw earlier. Rhaegar first pick. Rhaegar Kharazim. Okay, so how much weirder can you get, G-Clef? I was just trying to say, well, maybe, you know, it gets a little bit weird. You know, sometimes you don't always do what they expect. Or maybe they do like a little bit of strange stuff sometimes. Or they did see the Nova. Dara told that one time. But this is like, this might take the cake in terms of weirdness.
On camera,
you said nobody picks support first. They were like, oh, let me show you, G-Club. 2 supports. I mean, what are we watching? What are we witnessing? Let's wait. Let's let this unfold, G-Club.
Is this going to be okay? Okay. I was about to say, is this going to be 5 quadruple support with double support bans, so Tempest cannot take any supports, but Uther already chosen from Tempest. So that they have to choose a different path of stealing supports and banning supports now. Garrosh, if they're not ready for it, I think that's an okay one. Or even a Tastar. Tastar is still open and just can power up Genji and also Vala.
ETC hovered. Uncono stage dives for too terrifying. Gotta get him out of here.
Okay, that's the logic. That is the reason that there's no other reason that I can find.
Well, let's wait and see. They don't have any interrupts yet for Mosh Pit, and ETC's passive doesn't affect this map anymore, but Cassia will be the ban. Let's see what they want to run with this. Like, this is a learning experience for all of us. And sometimes with Raven, you learn new tricks about what comps you could make. As sometimes slightly more often, you learn about which comps you shouldn't make. But let's see what they want to run here. Teach me, Raven, what is the way? How is this done with the Rhaegar Kharazim? How does it work? I'm waiting.
I'm thinking.
30 seconds to go to find out what this magical comp is supposed to be.
Maybe they're planning on their own dive. With Rehgar coming out with Ancestral into the dive comp. That's why they also banned ETC, thinking about Illidan. Because Illidan often had a lot of pressure when there was the stage dive or ETC on the other side.
Okay, what's it going to be?
Greymane Illidan?
Stitches. Malfurion? Sergeant Hammer. Okay. So they got the poke with Sergeant Hammer.
Did you just say Malfurion?
Yeah, I was making the joke. Like, triple support, come on. Stitches, Sergeant Hammer.
Okay.
So now they have the poke at least for the Immortal War. But can they, I mean, they have double support, but can they keep Hammer alive? We saw a pretty poor performance from Sniper earlier on this map on the Sergeant Hammer. It was Rich who shut him down. Tempest has tools to kill the Hammer as well. The Genji and the Vala. The Genji is going to be harassing the backline. What tank do we see here for Tempest to shut down the siege tank, the Sergeant Hammer? Will it be just a Muradin here for Sign? Will we see potentially that Arthas coming back? Or is it H82's Artanis?
Either double support or double tank. They can still bring in a Tastar is open, which is pretty good for Vala and Genji at the same time. But maybe Uther is all they need.
Okay, it's Garrosh. That's the answer. Arthas and Garrosh. Sergeant Hammer better be perfectly positioned every time. Like, Sergeant Hammer needs to be at least like 5 kilometers away from Garrosh at any moment, or this is going to be a bad time.
Even those boosters will not help to escape when there's a lot of CC and damage on the other side.
I don't think that Vala needs Tassadar here either because of the lack of damage for Raven. I think the only pick that really makes sense to me now is Li Ming. It's not a strong pick, but at least they can then win the poking war. They've got a lot of support. It's, you know, Li Ming's fairly mobile. But when I see that look on DeYoung's face, I know it's not going to be Li Ming.
Or I think Anubarak is also okay, providing extra CC, so 7-sided strike can come in, either burst Garrosh, or Arthas. I think that's an okay option. They do have somewhat of a burst when Kerosene grows up a little bit until 16. But can they get to 16?
Good question. 3 seconds to go on this lock-in. Will it be the Li Ming? DeYoung's laughing. Greymane. Okay, that's pretty normal. That's not weird. What are you laughing about, DeYoung? That's like a pretty good pick here. They've got ranged poke. They've got double support to keep Greymane alive. The Palm potential is good. Probably see 7-side strike with the Stitches, just like we saw earlier. When the hook comes through, you get the extra damage off on the target that's there alone. So Greymane's a good pick here. It's kind of weird how this draft started. Raven just really prioritizing the support. They end up with a draft at the end of the day that's not absolutely absurd. It actually ends up making sense. And we'll see if they can make it work here. I think the positioning of Sergeant Hammer, though, is going to be the most critical thing. So, guys, let's go into game number 2 and see if Tempest is going to go to match point. In blue, Raven, Darvish on Greymane, Hamlin on Karazim, NMX on Stitches, DeYoung on Sergeant Hammer, and Chom on Rehgar. So a lot of role swaps for this one. DeYoung's the tank player, but not usually the siege tank player.
And Tempest, hide on Uther, Honkana on Genji, lockdown on Vala, Sign on Garrosh, H82 on Arthas. I feel like we'll see lots of bursting down the enemy heroic choices coming out from Raven, like 7-sided, BFG, even Gorge maybe. Let's see.
Oh man,
Raven
this is already this is the beginning.
Cannot escape.
Darvish is going to be the first one to die. DeYoung's positioning was good, and actually they're looking to get the pick on the lockdown. They will get it, but now Chom is body blocked, and all that deflect damage coming out from Hong Kong. Will Sign get out, gets the burst, but there's a really good hook actually for NMX. DeYoung gets tossed here.
Nicely done.
It was decent for Raven, but they stayed too long trying to get 2 kills.
It's not the highlight of what just happened, but having Arthas against the divey comp like that, like having Greymane coming in, Rehgar diving in, Arthas is happy to just deal with all the Tempest, as they are the Tempest themselves.
Yep. Oh, NMX gets caught here.
Body block. We see
No
a
escape.
lot of this. Ooh. Oh, gets killed by that.
Oh, the pull. He gets killed by Radiance at the end of the day.
That Groundbreaker is pretty decent when you have to call.
Yeah, and when you're up against, you know, heroes that don't have escapes like Stitches, Sergeant Hammer, Greymane to a certain extent, it's going to be very important. He didn't actually quest it, unfortunately. He's been doing so well that he would have had so many stacks by now had he done the quest for it at level 1. Not to be the case, not meant to be. So, 2 big wins for Tempest in terms of kills, but we're still in the early game. Raven could bounce back here. So you see a Genji rotation up top. They're looking for a pick here. It's a bait. Well, who can they get, though? They're looking for Darvish. It's a 3v2, and took such a poor trade that was never going to work. Oh, Chom gets caught here, though. Can he get into wolf form? He does. He's body blocked so hard. Will escape. This gives Tempest an opportunity to now rotate to the attack now. Hamlin, does he have a dash away? Doesn't look like it. There's a reset for Honkono. And NMX is just getting caught here. No way out.
Why
B
are
steps.
they? Okay, their positioning was a big mistake. They knew Tempest was coming up. They should have not been there from the beginning. And like maybe Hamlin did not even have a dash away, so that was a big mistake done by Raven.
They can't be split like this against the mobile composition that Tempest has when Garrosh has Wrecking Ball when they're up against Genji. Otherwise, things like this happen. Just everyone's body blocking. Tempest knows that if they stay together and they catch these members 2 by 2 that keep coming in, that keep poorly positioning themselves, then they win these fights. Even when Lockdown is just AFK against the Immortal. Hamlin now gets caught. And Honkono actually overextends here, hoping he was going to get the reset. So it's a kill for Raven now. It's a technical term for games like this at esports. It's called Clown Fiesta. Look it up in the esports dictionary. They will win the Immortals, 6,000 hit points in terms of shield lead. It's the Hearth home. Not the cleanest fight there for Tempest, but they get the Immortal. Raven just getting caught and getting picked. They never were able to utilize the fact that they have strong poke with Sergeant Hammer and Greymane, because unfortunately Tempest just caught them, you know, trying to rotate towards the Immortal. Seeing so many good Groundbreakers. This time into a stun. Will the Immortal get the stun? Yes, and NMX can't get back through the gate.
Yep, he's body blocked out of there, and Honkono got the reset. He doesn't want to dive in once more. Maybe he'll catch himself in the danger zone again, just like what happened before. But Garrosh seems strong, and once you have that against you, you got to be careful. Darvish does not even have mana.
Oh, another Groundbreaker. Dies midair. Going to be a dead fort with the first Immortal. Not even a large shield pool, but 9 kills to 2. Domination here for Tempest. Well, this is going to lead them towards a... Well, they have a talent tier advantage. It's going to lead them towards level 10 faster. We're actually having Greymane build into Wolfheart. And is just upgrading his W, not getting Eyes in the Dark, but maybe we'll see Wizened Duelist. I don't think that's a good idea considering how this game has started, but that's the build he's going so far. Who knows, man?
Who knows? There's a toss of Darvish.
Speaking of Darvish.
Doing some damage, but he's taken so much more damage. And Kono getting the kill. There's one more from the pull of Darvish.
You just got to feel for this team, man. It's hard. I don't even know what else to say. Just one kill after another. Domination. Showing the power of Garrosh. Good cleanse here to protect him. The Garrosh is just so strong if you can hit these Groundbreakers every time. And then get the follow-up toss when you're grouped as 5. Grouped as 4 in this case.
If they'll get hide this time. I'm pretty sure Lockdown will survive.
NMX was still mounted, so yep. Toss his teammate! Darvish has a cocktail? No, he doesn't. Doesn't have one.
Sign getting more armor, and Sergeant Hammer dies.
Yep, and Genji looks for another too, maybe. Oh, no, never mind. That was his teammate. Those 2 down there was just the Sergeant Hammer. Just a good rotation. I mean, Garrosh is just showing us Groundbreaker is pretty good if everyone's roaming with you. Raven just overextending a few times.
This game is like Garrosh highlight intro. The hero intro video of Garrosh. For all his skills, what he can do to save his teammates, to initiate the team fights. Wow.
It's the Garrosh show, man. Heroes of the Garrosh, what we're watching right now. Okay, well, 12 kills to 2. Immortal race, actually, pretty even for these two, as Raven has a really good comp to race this down, and Uther was not there. They can't fight before 10, though. It's about to come up through ticks. The tick 10 is going to come in. There's a tiny window where they could fight before it. Looks like they're going to try to do just that. 10 is reached now. The taunt comes out immediately here.
Extra
not the greatest taunt, though.
From Honkano, actually. I thought there was a panic block and trying to use it something at the end. But
Syndragosa also, by the way, for H82. They win the Immortal. Now they can disable the keep.
Syndragosa is actually very effective on this map.
Yeah. So let's see how they do this. I mean, could be Syndragosa into the X-Strike looking for the dive and then the strafe. Divine Shield can make the X-Strike less of a risk when he goes in like that, very aggressively. Did go for Dragon Claw, so he can do a lot of burst damage, you know, when he gets into the fray. Could even be tossed by Garrosh to save his dash there if he needs it. Sign is just waiting for any unsuspecting victim.
And X-Strike is also can be used as an escape tool for Honkano just in case he's close to dying. And strafe, okay, makes sense. And hybrid build coming up from Greymane.
Here comes the Syndragosa. Everything's disabled.
Yeah, with the Immortal for the next 30, close to 30 seconds, I believe.
It's a long time disabled. So now that the wall is falling down, they can dive really hard with Genji. Okay, just waiting right now is Tempest for the perfect opportunity. Here comes the toss. NMX is the first target. He's taunted as well. There's the follow-up point-click stun. Hammer of Justice will be the end of him as Lockdown used strafe. So much extra damage coming through. The keep comes back online, but they are far beyond that now. DeYoung does escape here. H82 gets the aggro. Divine Shield will keep him alive for now.
Perfectly done. H82 does not survive. Hamlin dashes in for the kill. That will be... They will be happy to pick up a kill for sure, but keep down already. Maybe they're going for core. They're not 10 yet.
Honkano using that Dragon Strike here. And also the or Dragon's Claw, sorry.
Locked in.
Just barely misses the really big BFG. It's not connect.
They're connecting it. They're trying to go for more kills. They're dashing in. Hamlin. Seems like Sign will be the only one going down, though.
Sign gets killed there. H82 not surviving throughout that Divine Shield. Means that Tempest, I think, got a bit overzealous there. But the keep is gone, and that's the key here. BFG, similarly to the Syndragosa, very map-specific choice for Sergeant Hammer. See it really only on this map for the burst damage in the big fights where everyone's grouped up. They got Gorge. Palm's going to be there for protection. The Bloodlust is an interesting one. It is double support, and they have Palm, so that gives them the opportunity to use Bloodlust to actually have these big fights. But everything has to go well. They have to not get picked, which has been the problem. And if the taunt comes in, it can ruin everything. If the big Warlord's Challenge comes in and grabs, for example, Rhaegar there, and both supports fall early, or the DPS fall early, it doesn't matter that they're all bloodlusted because it'll simply just be dead. Bloodlust is very strong with Sergeant Hammer with her auto attacks, so it's an interesting thought, the comp we're seeing here. We'll see how it works in execution now that all the heroics are up on the side of Raven.
Only when they have a good positioning, not when Hamlin's away like this.
Nope. This is the picks I was saying that cannot happen.
Ignored! Killed.
Such perfect timing. BFG is used here, doing a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough.
Slow, and they want to get more kills here.
Syndragosa really setting up this fight for them. Hyde's just out of range. DeYoung is kiting him really well. Hyde actually could die here. Okay, he does barely get that heal off the last second. Really good play by DeYoung actually on the Hammer to avoid that Uther there, using his movement speed. They're going to go ahead and take this Shaman camp to help prep the wave going towards core. Obviously, the catapults will get more done when they have the Shaman to help clear the minions for them. And this is going to be extra pressure that has to be dealt with for Raven here, as Tempest is going to go ahead and take the lead on the Immortal fight.
Exactly when Vala comes.
It's actually a really good position for them too. They force Raven to actually invade right now, even if it's on their side of the map. Sign is waiting in this location. Hamlin's going to be the target. Follow-up point-click stun. Does, of course, use his cleanse that he has later on to get away.
There's the Bloodlust. Sign taking soaking in so much damage for the team. Gorgeous one target, but is that going to be enough straight for the Kite?
Divine Shield really well done here. Gets the lifesteal there, is actually able to take Darvish out. And here comes the X-Strike. Big slows coming in from H82 onto Chom. He does dash away, but he's going to be killed by the Immortal. Picks up an assist. That big Hell Immortal there. Hammond Palm, again ignored. Will be killed immediately upon its expiration. Groundbreaker into the toss. And we are seeing B-steps galore. This game is certainly over now, G-Clef. 20 kills to 4.
Notice Hyde and Onkono killing Karazim the instant when the palm is over. The understanding of the timing, understanding of those other heroes that, of course, Hyde, the god on Karazim, they just know everything.
It's just kind of crazy to see how quickly they do it. Like, almost I'm like, oh, did they mess it up? But they never do. So perfectly right afterwards. Well, sadly, this is a dead Immortal, which means that the alive one, the Hell Immortal, will have 25,000 shields to work with as it marches down towards this keep. They won't get the double talent tier advantage this time, but they were close. BFG is going to have to be the way, you would think, with the Bloodlust and the timing to win this fight here before it gets to keep. I like this idea by Raven. Invade here, lock in your level 13s and go for the fight. Taunt already takes out Chom.
This time Palm connected, but is that going to be enough? So much more damage comes in. Onkono is looking for the kill, and healing comes in with the double support.
Yeah, but they're not accomplishing anything during all of this time. Both supports are healing each other, but they're not healing the backline, which is being dove upon now. Onkono's changing his targets here. Remember, the Immortal doesn't care about this fight. The Immortal is going to the core.
Stitches want to play.
Stitches want to play. Divine Shield here. He Dragon Blades.
Oh, even
Onkono's like, can I tap with this healing well? Oh, that's not mine. Well, that is going to be game over, guys.
That's a next level BM there, but that's going to be game.
25 kills to 4, 13-minute BOE game. There were definitely blemishes on the side of Tempest. That was not their most perfect way to end out the game, but it was still dominance nonetheless. The second unusual draft for Raven falls apart here, and now they find themselves one loss away from ending the series, as even Hyde can't be happy about how that last game played out.
Yep. And it felt too easy for Tempest. It seems like it's not that Tempest is strong a team. They are a strong team. Seems like they don't even need to have their 60-70% of their power to win today's games. And Raven's draft from the very beginning was very surprising, and I think it costed them big in game 2. Double support from first 2 picks. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that.
Didn't work out in the end of the day. And I feel like when you look at what they were trying to do, very map-specific, Sergeant Hammer, Greymane, Stitches, a bit questionable. The Bloodlust works well with Sergeant Hammer, but they can't be picked if they're trying to run this comp. And they're running this comp into Garrosh and Arthas, who, by the way, with Syndragosa, and still was able to dominate. Took that. Really, the only big fight for Syndragosa was the one they took near the top keep. Otherwise, it was just used to disable the buildings when they were to give the Immortal more power. Raven's going to have to figure something else out. They have a little bit of time to do it. We're going to take a very short commercial break, guys. And when we come back, we'll see if Tempest is going to close out the series.